Hey there! Does your week ever feel like a complete blur of tasks, meetings, and notifications? You know that feeling, right? Well, you're constantly busy, but you're not actually being productive. Well, if that sounds familiar, you're gonna love this. Today we are breaking down a super simple system to bring some serious focus and clarity back to your week. And it all starts by facing a very, very familiar enemy.
I bet this looks familiar to a lot of you. It's the classic monster to-do list. A total mess of personal errands, huge work projects, and everything in between, all screaming for your attention at once. The problem isn't the tasks themselves, it's that there's zero structure here. This isn't a plan, it's basically a recipe for anxiety.
But what if you could take all of that chaos and transform it into a focused, actionable plan? And what if I told you it only takes 7 minutes, just once a week, to do it? Well, that is the powerful promise we are going to unpack right now.
Okay, so to get there, we really need to understand the core problem we're up against. It's not that we aren't working hard enough, not at all. It's that we're caught in this trap of the endless to-do list, a system that kind of sets us up to fail from the get-go.
And this right here, this is the key difference. Feeling busy is all about reacting to a long list of stuff, which just leads to constant decision fatigue. But being productive, that's about executing a plan based on a short, specific list of outcomes. The goal here is to make those big, important decisions just once a week. That way, you free up all that mental energy for the work that actually matters. So how do we make that jump from just reacting all the time to actually executing a plan? Well, the solution is a really simple ritual with a big promise. A complete weekly reset in just a handful of minutes.
It's called the 7-Minute Weekly Review. And listen, this is not another complicated app you have to learn or some new productivity hack. It's just a short, repeatable ritual that literally converts the mess from the past week into a solid, calendar-based action plan for the week ahead.
And what you get out of it is incredibly clear. First, you're going to replace that endless pile of to-dos with actual scheduled time to get things done. You'll also get way better at guessing how long things really take. And maybe most importantly, by deciding what matters just once a week, you slash that mental exhaustion and finally close all those nagging open loops from the week before.
All right, so how in the world do you do all of that in just 7 minutes? Well, the entire method breaks down into 7 simple 1-minute moves that just build on each other. It's super straightforward. So here's the entire playbook at a glance. You can see how it just flows logically, right? First, you look back, you reflect, you check your metrics, then you clear the decks, you audit your calendar, you get your inbox to 0, and finally, you plan forward by picking your big 3 goals, putting them on the calendar, and tying up loose ends. Each step is designed to take about a minute.
Now, let's pause for a second on the most powerful part of this whole system, the number 3. Limiting yourself to just 3 main goals for the entire week forces you to make some tough calls. It's how you really separate what's truly important from what just feels urgent. This right here, this is where the clarity really starts to happen.
And to make those 3 goals actually effective, you have to define them with this simple little formula: verb, then output. So instead of a vague goal like, work on proposal, you create a crystal clear target: write proposal version 1. See the difference? It transforms a fuzzy idea into something you can actually do and measure.
And this is what it looks like when it all comes together. A planned, intentional week. Notice how the most important stuff, the big 3, gets scheduled first as big, concrete blocks of time. But look closer. Just as important is that buffer time scheduled in between. That's not wasted time, people. That's essential breathing room.
But hey, a great plan is only half the battle, right? This isn't a set it and forget it kind of thing. The real magic actually comes from the feedback loop, which helps you get more realistic and more effective with your planning week after week.
So the first piece of feedback is what's called estimate accuracy. It's really just a simple, honest look at the time you planned to spend versus the time you actually spent. The goal isn't to judge yourself for being wrong. It's just about gathering data so your plans get better and better over time.
And the goal is to get your estimate accuracy somewhere in this range, between 0.7 and 0.9. That means your planned time is pretty closely matching your actual time. It just shows you're developing a much more realistic sense of what you can actually get done.
The other key metric is your finish percentage. Basically, how many of your planned time blocks did you actually complete? And check this out. The goal is not 100%. Aiming for perfection is just a recipe for burnout. A healthy, sustainable target is somewhere between 70 and 85% because that allows for, life to happen.
So what do you do with this data? Well, you use it to make small adjustments. It's really simple. If your finish rate is low, you're probably just over-planning. So next week, try planning fewer but larger blocks of time. If your estimates are way off, just add more buffer time. See? It's not about being perfect. It's about constantly tweaking and improving.
All right, we've covered the why and the how. Now for the most important part, actually putting this thing into practice. Because the best way to understand this system is to just do it. And you can start really, really small.
The beauty of this whole thing is that you don't have to jump in all at once. You can start with this basic 3-minute version. Seriously, just identify your wins and a lesson, pick your big 3, and throw them on the calendar. That's it. You can build up to the full review once you've got the habit down.
And to help you get off to a great start, here are a few common traps to avoid. Don't create those vague tasks. Be specific. Really try to stick to just 3 major outcomes. And please, always schedule that buffer time. Most importantly, once you start a focus block, try to commit. Trust the plan you already made for yourself.
So, that's the system. A simple, really powerful ritual to move from chaos to clarity. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what truly matters. Which really just leaves us with one final question to think about. What will be your big 3 this week?